Black Mage's Rod, 1 in the black for an artifact equipment with job select. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent and is a wizard in addition to its other types.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, totally fine. Yeah, totally fine. I like it.
Great.
So, pinging in this set for non-creatures is quite strong.
Yep.
The fact that do you know what's the most freaking annoying part about this? Your
Hmm.
opponent stabilizes, right? You play this out, you just attack a couple times, or maybe your opponent, you have some sort of aggressive start, and then your opponent can actually have such a tough time removing this effect. And that's so insane, like there's many situations where the board stalls out and you're like, okay, well now I need to answer their stupid 2-drop because the stupid 2-drop's going to kill me eventually.
Yep.
But you can't do that here
Nope.
because they just keep on passing it around,
Yep.
which is kind of insane.
Yep.
That's kind of insanos.
It is insane.
Um, yeah, I think this is a very very strong 2-drop. This is a C+ for me.
Because there's black magic, right? So in this set, black is like black mages, white mages are the thing in most Final Fantasy sets. But then there's not many white mages, so that's weird.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of a sidetrack.
Yeah.
Would you describe magic philosophy wise? Would you describe black mages as more red in Final Fantasy?
Repeat the question, please.
In terms of magic philosophy, would you
Yes.
describe black mages as more of a red color identity for magic from Final Fantasy?
Yes. Yes, because
Yeah, right?
black magic is usually about damage.
Yeah. So like I think they made black mages black just because it would be weird to make them red.
But they didn't make white
But yeah.
mages white. So that not much. But I guess you can gain some life and stuff in white. So that yeah, that's the white magic. But they also made this thing is also present in red. This
Mhm.
this thing
Yeah.
this effect is present in red. What do you give this, Scotty?
C+.
Easy C plus. Easy C plus. Works with itself as well. Very very well. Ecties. For 1 and black, it's a 1/1 whenever this creature enters the battlefield. Each opponent discards a card. Very normal. This set kind of some decks want to have things in graveyard, so I think it's gonna be good because of these 2/1s that we have. And then it actually blocks. It's actually a creature against a good amount of cards. So I think this is gonna be a good one. I'm not sure if it's gonna be a C+, but I'm starting it as a C. It could very well be a C+. And feels like you're gonna have enough things to do in the set, especially with blue, which might be the strongest color. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like it, but we're gonna see. And then this card becomes better because you can use it later on and it's still gonna do something. So yeah, C for now.
I'm also on a C. I'm a little concerned about the flashback value.
Oh, true.
Tiny bit concerned. Also, like, this is a game shrinker, as in, like, it reduces the amount of cardboard in play.
Hmm?
But if games get really large overall, then this might get outscaled pretty fiercely. Even if you can discard something in the late game, so that's a little concerning. So I really don't. So I'm gonna give this a C, but I really don't expect this to be like a premium 2-drop in this set,
Yeah.
like in some sets. Resentful Revelation, 1 in a black for a sorcery. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand, the rest into your graveyard. Flashback, 6 in a black.
That's a lot.
Uh,
That's a lot.
That's so expensive. Okay. If you care about stuff filling your graveyard, which there are a decent amount of things in this set that do, this can sometimes be passable. But flashbacking this is wow, like that's like a top deck war situation, which is a little strange to me. I think this is like a D to me.
I think it's a design choice because then, like, when you have these mages, like these wizards, having it cost less and maybe being like look at the top 2 cards or something could be problematic in how much damage you're dealing without actually attacking. That one is so much. What do you give it? A D?
A D. I mean, I think this card without the flashback is a D. So I think with flashback, it's a D.
That's a lot to pay. I'm gonna be on a D plus. You might care about putting things away. And like getting one of the top 3 best cards is probably not worth 2 mana, but sometimes you're gonna get to 7 and you do care about spells, I guess. So it's gonna be like, okay, when I get to 7, I can deal some damage to their face as well, not just get a card, so that's a plus. D plus, but I can see it being higher. I don't think it's gonna be lower. I think it works in this set. Undercity Direct for 1 and a black, you get a 2/2. When it dies, you create a treasure token. That's an artifact. That's ramp. That's fixing. It's a 2/2. I love this. I really like this. A C or a C plus? I'm gonna start it as a C plus, I think.
All right. I mean, this card is good. This card is good. I like it. I'm starting it as a C. Like these cards most of the time read off that if you want your opponent to stop attacking you, you can just not attack with this, and then it's really hard for them to attack in and trade with this because that gives you such a huge boost in your next turn. And if you want to attack, it's kind of sort of really difficult to block for the same reason.
I mean, it's also 2/2.
Yeah. So this is nice. C. Yeah.
I think I'm also gonna go for 2C. It is a 2 mana 2/2, and it needs to die. Yeah, I'm gonna C. But it is a 2/2. If 3 drop
Okay.
needs to...
This is. Yeah.
Yeah, it is just 2.
I think you have to.
What do you say?
It's never mind. Please continue.
It is a 2/2. It is, and that effects are not that easy. But when you have it on 2 drops, that's nice. 3 drops with that effect, now it's a problem. You kind of want it to do something. Enters the battle. So C means fine. Seems fine. Ooh.
Vane's Treachery, 1 and a black for an instant. Kicker, sacrifice an artifact or creature. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. If the spell is kicked, that creature gets -6/-6 instead. Yeah, this is nice. Trades off early. Kills basically anything late efficiently, especially in a deck that you have stuff lying around to sacrifice, like Heck Dies, for example, like
Or
a treasure
any
token, for example.
equipment.
Or any equipment that you just have lying around that you don't want to re-equip. Yeah,
Oh.
perfect. There's a lot of fodder in this set, and this is highly efficient. Very good. B-.
I'm actually on a B. I think this is gonna be maybe the best black common. This is amazing. And you care about non-creatures as well. So many things lying around, just... It's beautiful. Instant's limit break for 1 and a black. Okay, this is so weird. Until the end of turn, target creature you control gains when this creature dies, returning to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control, and has the chosen base power and toughness. If you pay 2 mana in total, it's a 3/2. Comes back as a 3/2. If you pay 3 mana in total, comes back as a 5/2. If you pay 5 mana in total, it comes back as a 7/2. This set has a good amount of tokens, and that's a little bit of a problem. That's a problem. Like, doesn't get tokens back, doesn't win you any combat at all. Makes your
read it again. Read it again.
Oh. Oh! I thought that it comes back as that power and toughness. Oh, it has a chosen power and toughness right away. Oh! I didn't understand what the fuck is this card. Oh, wait. Oh. Wait, that... For 5 mana you can... This is gonna end games a lot of times. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's because of the way that they ordered the text and the effects that I think is very confusing.
Oh. That's kind of cool. Like 3 mana are always killing something, but 3 mana is a lot to pay for a trick. I mean, when you pay 5, you can put it on a blue 1/3. Let's say it has no counters. And now that's 8 unblockable damage that you're dealing. I hate that into body.
Yeah, that's that just, hey, you're having a game and now you're not having a game.
Yeah, I hate that into. That is if it got no.
I mean,
counters.
at least it ends the game.
Yeah, that is 8. And
Uncommon,
blue,
yeah.
and blue has good. good unblockable because the blue 1/3 when you play a 4 or when you pay 4 or more for a non-creature spell, it gets +1/+1 counter and it cannot be blocked, and it's a common. No, it doesn't die and come back and choose in power and toughness. That's what I thought. It gets it right away. Because it gets all of these abilities, right? When it dies, it just comes back. And then there's a blue 2/1 flyer that can also deal 7. Oh shit, this irritates. I don't like this card existing, Scotty. With the combination of that unblockable, this is irritating. This is gonna end so many games. This is gonna end so many games, Scotty. I hate that this card exists.
Yeah, you thought it was spicy and you liked it if it came back as a 7/2, right?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, now you don't like it.
Yeah, now I don't like it. I don't think it's overpowered or anything. But it's really... Like, some decks are just gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna attack here and there and then win with this. And if nothing, like, I'm gonna get a creature back. Oh fuck, is this really good? I hope it's not, man. I really hope it's not, because it's just like it makes... I don't like unblockable wins and or dealing billion damage. I'm gonna give it a C-, because it just can end so many games.
Yeah, I think it's a C- as well.
But if it doesn't end games, it's kind of whatever, right? But it can, right? And there's tokens that kind of messes this up a bit. It also triggers all the black mages, right? So this is irritating. Man, this is irritating. This card.
Ariman. Or Ariman. 2 and a black for a creature, Eye Horror. It's a 2/2 with flying and death touch. 3, sacrifice another creature or an artifact, draw a card. That's a lot of keywords for a common. So normally speaking, a 2/2 is pretty bad, but the fact that this can trade up and defend yourself against anything is actually very, very nice. Sacking excess equipment, sacking tokens that you don't need, sacrificing heroes so you can draw cards. Lovely.
Equipment.
This is solid.
Treasures.
This is overall pretty solid. I like this effect, and the fact that it doesn't even need to tap itself, so it can continue pressuring the opponent and continuing to like chump sack in the same turn cycle is nice. I think this is a nice common. I think this is a C+.
Everything is so nice about this card, and I love this type of effects, grindy effects. But from everything I saw, didn't see big creatures. I saw a lot of good 2-drops. I saw a lot of good 2/1 2-drops or 2/2 2-drops, and this is pretty bad against them. I think 2-drops are gonna be the name of the game in this set. With card draw and stuff, right? But I think you're gonna be skipping 3-drops a lot of times. And I don't know, it feels like it's not gonna be like a big creature set. So I think most often when you trade it, it's trading for a 2-drop, not for a 3-drop or a 4-drop. I'm gonna start it as a C, but I feel like it's gonna go to C-. But a beautiful effect, and a lot of times, like, you get one or two of these, like, it's very nice for your mages, it's very nice for your heroes, for your artifacts, treasures. Works pretty well with the red as well. So, like, it is your late game, so why not? But I'm just a little bit worried that at the stat line for a 3-drop. Cornered by black mages, 1 and double black. It's a sorcery. Target opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice, and you get that 0/1 wizard that pings the opponent when it. Okay, so yes, opponent keeps the equipment. If they're going wide, they sack maybe a 1/1 from a blue dragon, so that's kind of bad, but it's a common. I think this and the 2-drop, and they're both non-creatures, are gonna be the thing for a black deck. So you have this one, go a little bit up, and you have the Black Mage's Rod, and it's a 2-drop, non-creature, 3-drop, non-creature, and they both create this wizard. So I don't even think it matters that much that this is not hitting. This is hitting not the best creatures, that it's hitting 1/1s or maybe 0/1s from the opponent. The fact that you're creating this with non-creatures, I think it's enough. I think that this thing and the Black Mage's Rod are easily gonna go up to B-, and Black is getting into a spot where it's a contender for one of the best colors in the set, especially with blue. Having Vincent's Limit Break here as well, which can dish out crazy amount of damage for that finishing turn. This feels like it might be a pretty fast set where it's a bit hard to go and play big stuff. Blue having amazing card draw for not much mana. That's non-creatures. Helps this so much because you're dealing damage and then you're drawing cards into cards that can help you deal more damage. So I'm gonna give this a B-.
I think it's really high.
Yep.
I do like it. Another bonus is that I think you can point to, and you were saying this notably before, but specifically the reasoning. If your opponent sacrifices a hero, the reason why the job select cards are good is because it has the mana efficiency to attach to that hero in the first place, right? So you're not just removing a 1/1. That's like kind of the wrong way to look at it. There's not a whole lot of naked heroes in this set, except for the blue common.
But I'm thinking if you actually do remove a 1/1, right?
Yeah. I'm a little concerned about the difficulties of casting. I'm a little bit concerned about. I mean, I guess like you can technically, like in a real pinch, you can chump with a wizard. But edicts are fairly weak. Like the later the game goes, this gets pretty rough. You know, because it feels to me the game plan you're describing with black is quite snowbally, which also depends on things kind of drawing in the right order and going kind of right for you. And there's a lot of situations later where this is pretty mid. I think Cornered by Black Mages is a C.
I think because of these two commons existing, that's a deck. That's just a deck on itself. And then you pair it with blue, get card draw, pair it with red, get more 0/1s. I think that's enough.
So Cornered by Black Mages and the Black Mages staff work better in multiples, right? I think there's a question earlier about how many of these would you put in. Oh, the more the better. More is better. More is better for these. They get incredibly potent in multiples. Which maybe means you want to take it higher, right?
I think they're taking it.
Which maybe means you want to take it higher. So I'm starting as a C, but I can see it.
Like these two make the deck. The two commons are so much. There's also black uncommon that's gonna make it, and that gives wizards lifelink. +1/+0, so that's very interesting. Okay, I think that because of those two commons, that's the deck. That's the deck that you can get, and I think it's gonna be crazy powerful.
Fight on. 2 and a black for an instant. Return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. There's gonna be some situations in your deck where you seem like you have enough creatures, board affecting things you trade off, and then you look at your graveyard and there's nothing in it because they were all tokens.
Yeah.
Which is kind of brutal. Which sucks. I'm not even like super high on this effect. I understand it's an instant. That doesn't change that much for me. This is not even an instant way to trigger like 4 mana matters, etc. I don't think this is very good. I'm giving this so sure. The idea is that you play this in Golgari because you have some self-mill. So maybe that is a boon for this, but I just don't think that that's particularly good. So this is like a D+ for me.
I'm gonna go for D in this set. Usually D+, C- depending on how the set is. D because of this set. It's a problem. It's a problem. And thank God it doesn't have -1/-1 because that like destroys every single of those go by decks, right? Not good in this set, I would say. Too many artifacts that don't really go, that are not creatures and that don't go into graveyard. The cool thing is, maybe you have a lot of sagas and then it gets sagas back. So If you're doing that, that's a big plus. Very cool card. I think it's gonna be really nice in some decks, but a lot of times not that good. And because a lot of times it's not that good, it's a common. Even when it's great for your deck, you probably need to take it as a D+. When it's like perfect for your deck, I think it's a D+. Because you're gonna get it. And when it's not, well, then it's just garbage card. That's gonna happen a lot. YouTube Forager. Forayer. How do you say this, Cody?
Forayer.
Forayer. For 2 and a black,
Yeah.
it's a 3/2. When this creature enters, choose one. Destroy other creature that was dealt damage this turn, or exile up to 2 cards from a single graveyard. Exile 2 cards from a single graveyard, nothing that special. 3/2 is very bad body. Killing something. It's kind of meh. I don't care about this. In this set especially, a lot of smaller bodies. I'm just on a D for this one.
D+. Pretty bad. Shinra. Reinforcements. 2 and a black for a creature, human soldier. It's a 2/3. When this creature enters, mill 3 cards and you gain 3 life. That's a decent amount of value. However, there will be very specific decks that want this, and I don't think this will be a card or a common that you pick early and be like, oh, dang, I'm excited to go into Golgari now. This is... so, yeah, there's flashback, right? There's graveyard synergies, etc. But I think this is something that you want to pick up later. I think this is something you want to pick up later. But I do think it does an okay job of doing that. This is a C- for me.
I think it's gonna be a great cyber card against those decks that try to kill you with mages. Also, the Ragdos 2/2 for 4 mana is looking better than ever. That deals 2 damage to their face. Everything that we see. I think in a normal play deck, this is pretty crappy because I think you're gonna be going for mages and going for trying to kill your opponent rather than staying alive. So I think it's a D+. Just because some decks, I guess, are really gonna be good, really gonna want putting things in the graveyard. But green has a 2/1/1/1 that puts things in the graveyard and gets you land, because that feels kind of better when it mills 4 cards, if I'm correct. So D+, but I think it's more gonna play out in most decks like a D-. Giving it D+ just because it's kind of fine in some. 2/3 is a horrible stat line. Namazu Trader for 3 and a black. It's a 3/4. Whenever this creature enters, you lose 1 life and create a treasure token. When this creature attacks, you may sacrifice another creature or an artifact. If you do, surveil 2. That's very interesting, but it's expensive for a 4 mana 3/4. Treasure means it's you splash. Losing 1 life is pretty big on a random creature. Now sometimes you're gonna just be surveilling, which is pretty powerful effect. But this being a 4-drop, it's a little bit too much. You can't get as many 4-drops. There is artifacts and 1/1s, like a lot of cards create 2 things for you to sack. This creates a treasure for you to sack if you want it. So I think I'm just gonna give it a D+. And I think it's gonna be a filler 4-drop.
Yeah, filler. But honestly, not the worst filler. D+.
I wish it was a 4/3.
Sephiroth's Intervention. 3 and a black for an instant. Destroy target creature. You gain 2 life. 2 life is nice because oftentimes, right, when you have a surplus of cards that, answer anything but are a little bit clunky, you get into a situation where your opponent has an early curve and then you find yourself removing and trading down on cards, which is pretty rough. But the gaining 2 life actually goes a really long way. It actually goes a really, really long way in helping you actually bridge and survive those situations. So I like it. I think this is a C+.
I think it's a B-. 4 mana is a nice boost for those 4 cards that care about 4. The 1/3 now looks really good in black-blue, in Dimir. The 1/3 that's gonna be unblockable, because you care about non-creatures, you care about 4, you care about dealing damage. and you care about kind of holding ground a bit, gain to life is huge in that type of deck, because you're kind of killing the opponent without actually getting into... without letting them block a lot of times. So black-blue could definitely be the strongest archetype. Definitely could be the strongest archetype. Life gain feels very important in this set as well. So I think this is better than 2 and a black destroy target creature. So yeah, B-. And this is exactly what black wants as well, like killing something big problematic while dealing damage with your mages. And if you can attack with some of those... Marlboro, oh, I love Marlboro. I mean, I hate it when I see it. This guy, by the way, Scotty, gives you like billion different status effects. I think it's different, not same for every game. Which is pretty... It's bad breath is its ability, and it's pretty well depicted.
Like smoking,
here.
right?
Huh?
Like smoking, right?
No, I wash my teeth. Fine. And I get chewing gums. For 4 and double black. It's a 4/4. Horrible, but when this creature enters, each opponent discards a card, loses 2 life, and exiles top 3 cards of the library. Exiles top 3 cards of the library. I don't know what is that, but it's there. It's there. No life gain. They do lose 2 life, so that's something. Discard the card is pretty big for blue. I think the body is too weak for this type of effect. Some cycling is nothing. This I think would be busted drop, because dealing damage is so good in black. But I'm gonna give it a... just a D+ grade. This is kind of this is better, I think, than other ones that we saw.
I think it's worse. D+.
Oh, it actually is a play on the... yeah, Marlboro is cigarette.
Yeah, that's the point, right? It's so on the nose.
I forgot, and I smoked Marlboro before when I was smoking cigarettes.
But did you understand what I was talking about when I was talking about smoking all of a sudden?
I mean, I thought just bad breath is why I said it at first.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Next card, Scotty.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. Wow, this is great content. All right, Tonberry, it does blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Well,
there's no MDFCs? Or am I reading wrong?
There is one side quest, Hunt the Mark. I can read it if you want.
Under black. It is, what is it? Side quest.
Yes, it is.
Side quest, Hunt the Mark. 3 black for an enchantment. When this enchantment enters, destroy up to 1 target creature at the beginning of your end step. If a creature died under an opponent's control this turn, create a treasure token. Then, if you control 3 or more treasures, transform this enchantment. Transforms into Yasmat, Altman Mark. Legendary creature dragon. It's a 5/6. With 1 and a black, sacrifice another creature or artifact. Yasmat gains indestructible until end of turn. Tap it. 5 mana, kill something. Bad. Very bad. 5 mana, kill something, get a treasure in your end step. Not really worth it, to be honest. End step is much, much worse than creating the treasure immediately. Takes off double spelling potential with other sorceries or creatures. You can get treasures in other ways to flip this sooner. And I think if you can't flip this sooner, the card on its own is poor. It's poor. But if you can accelerate this with other treasures and flip this a little sooner, I think it can get quite good. The backside is fine. The backside's fine. It tangles really, really well in combat. As an attacker, mostly. I mean, 6 toughness even blocks fairly well. Specifically at common, rats have to die in order for you to get treasures, right? For you to get things for Hunt the Mark.
Yeah.
But overall, I think this is like a C. It's clunky.
I actually think now that I felt Black's identity, I think red is probably going to be like a D+ or something. So can you move the red to a C- for me?
The what?
The red to a C-.
Oh, the rat to C-, sure.
But this one I like it deals damage. That's what I'm trying to do with black. And I also kind of want to draw cards with something. Maybe blue, who knows? Splashing blue even, maybe. So I think it's very good. What do you give it?
C.
I'm giving it a C+. I can see this being like a B- even. I can really see this being a B-, like in black. Like you just like, you really just want to play non-creatures, and if you're killing their bigger threats, smaller ones are kind of afraid to attack because it's so scary if you start attacking them. I think it's gonna be pretty good. C+ as a start. Thornberry
Want to pick things off.
for black, it's a 2/1 that enters tapped with a stun counter on it. And it has a chef's knife, a static ability that says during your turn, this creature has first strike and death touch. Okay. So you play it doesn't block. Next turn it doesn't block or attack. So third turn, it starts dealing 2 damage per turn to the opponent. Which is really good for black. But it's on a third turn, man. It's on a third turn. That's way too much. That's way too long. That is way too long to... That's way too long. I think it's bad. It's like this kind of thing is so good for black, but not after the third turn, man. It would be fine if it was a 3/1. Yeah, I'm on a D for this one. Or even a D-. For you?
I wish we could fight about this. Because chat was fighting, and I kind of wanted to prolong chat's fighting.
Yeah, but I don't know why they're
But
fighting.
I also think this kind of sucks.
It sucks.
This is not very good. It's so weak.
Slow.
Stun counter is horrible.
Horrible.
It's really, really, really bad.
Tap is
It's barely a
bad.
good 1-drop.
It's
solid. It's solid as a 1-drop.
It's a D-, I think. I think it's actually a D-.
Yeah. Wow. Brutal.
And I love the Thornberry, by the way.
So, yeah, first strike death touch is incredible. It's incredible. Together, you can't even double block this, right? Or actually, it's horrible if you double block it. It's like you're taking 2 damage a turn. You're taking 2 damage a turn. Hyper aggressive red decks, or a hyper aggressive black decks, are probably happy with this. I don't want to give it a D-. I'm gonna give it a D+. I don't think it's great.
He's using a card in your hand slot.
Yeah, it's using a card in the hand, but then if you want any deck that sort of wants to put pressure by playing a 1-drop and then attacking, I think this will do a comparable job over the course of the game if you drop this on 1.
The thing is, you're not gonna drop it at 1 always.
I know, but then
most
if you're dropping...
Most of the time you're not playing it on 1. Most of the time.
Yeah, but we're trying to... If your deck is trying to close the game out by turn 5, 6 anyway, which is a huge downside because even 1-drops of other varieties, you can double spell with on turn 3, 4 and still attack. This does not do that.
Yep.
So even those decks, this is not that strong, which is why I'm giving it a D+.
D+.
I don't think it's good. I think neither of us think it's good.
And when you play it after turn 1, that's very... turn 1, you're thinking about that scenario. When you play it later, holy shit! Usually, when you play something, and it's not a non-creature, which I think black is really into, more than probably any color. You play it later, it's just nothing. I mean, a 2/1 with no text is a 2/1 when it enters the battlefield, blocks, attacks, do whatever you want with it. No, I think this is gonna be one of the worst performing uncommons in the whole set. I can't give it more than a D-. Ready?
Yeah, I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if the stats play out well for a Tonberry. Demon Wall. 1 in a black for an artifact creature, Demon Wall. It's a 3/3 with Defender and Menace. As long as this creature has a counter on it, it can attack as though it didn't have Defender. 5 black, put 2 +1/+1 counters on this creature. Notably speaking, you can continue sinking mana into this. Even after you make it a 5/5, so it becomes a 7/7, and then continue attacking, which is kind of nice. This does curve very nicely with blue common. It curves so nicely with the blue common. Because you just play this, then you draw 2 cards, put a counter on this, attack. That's really strong.
Yeah.
That is really powerful. it is actually, I think, a big deal that even after you have a curve like that, you can continue to grow it. I do think that's a big deal.
Yeah.
I do like it. Um, However, in a normal case where you can't put a counter on this card is like kind of bad. It's kind of bad. But I think that averages out to like a C.
Ooh, that's high.
Oh, you dislike it more than that. I thought I was going low.
The cool thing about it is that I think black is gonna be pretty interested in blocking. It's because I think that the real power is definitely gonna be like playing a lot of spells and dealing that 1 damage, 2 damage, 3 damage. I don't know how much you have of those, and having some creatures that are pretty good roadblocks, which does make a 2 mana 3/3 pretty good, but it's also a creature, which makes it a bit worse. And I don't think you're gonna be interested in paying 6 in black for this. But it does have menace, right? So I think black blue is gonna be amazing, and blue is pretty good at putting that +1/+1 counter on if you draw a card, and then it could be quite a lot of damage. So I'm gonna be on a C minus, but this could be a pretty good card for black. I think I'd rather go with a lot of the commons, and then if I don't have a lot of those, maybe then get this in. But I think black is really gonna be about that. Let me deal a lot of damage from casting spells, which kind of makes a 3/3 fine. And then then they gotta be very careful that you don't kill them with this later. So if black didn't have all of those 0/1s that care about non-creatures, I think it would be better. But I'm giving it a C minus for start, just because of that. Poison the waters for 1 and a black. Sorcery, choose one. All creatures get -1/-1. Woo! Woo! So black can be like countering itself. Target player reveals their hand, you choose an artifact or creature card from it. That player discards that card. Oh, this is interesting because black is so into making 0/1s, I think. But then you have a card that counters that strategy. I mean, I think even in that deck, that like looking at their hand is kind of okay. But so many cards are not creatures. I guess they're artifacts then a lot of times. I don't like this actually. We gotta put it to Cyborg Red because if you're playing Golgari, like this is gonna be so nice. If you're playing Golgari, this is gonna be so nice. I think I'm picking it as a D. Because I think it ruins the black game plan that I'm almost always going to be going for. But if you're not doing that, then it's really good at countering that one, or white go wide, or blue go wide, so that's kind of nice. So D, but amazing sideboard card. So we give it the sideboard X, right?
Yep.
It's like so good in sideboard.
I think it's I would pick it as a C minus. I'm a little bit more optimistic about how both modes will play out versus decks that because I do think there's a decent amount of 1 toughness in decks that are putting pressure on you. And if they're not putting pressure on you, just look at the hand, take the best card. I do like that enough. I don't think it's great. C minus.
Okay. But I think it's just like the first part is almost never good in a black deck. I think opponents want to have this against you. So that's a problem.
I don't know. I kind of feel like you're another personal attack here. I kind of feel like you're honing in a lot on one black archetype when there's
I
others,
think that's
white black, green black.
Yeah, I think white black, green black. Yeah, I'm not sure about them because of these other black archetypes existing.
Okay, we're talking Reno and Rude. 1 and a black for legendary creature, human assassin. 2/1 with menace. Whenever Reno and Rude deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library. Then you may sacrifice another creature or artifact. If you do, you may play the exiled card this turn, and mana of any type can be spent to cast it. 2 mana, 2/1 menace. Already decent. That's already decent. That's already a decent amount of pressure, especially if light totals are precious. in this set. Sorry. Getting this in, well, like it is really annoying because if you do have the sack fodder, like your opponent just has to leave stuff back, so it makes blocks really awkward for them if they can't just like straight up kill this, which is not going to be that hard, right? Like imagine even on earliest turn 4, you like go Reno and Brood into like Heck Dies or whatever. You play a little bit off curve, and then even on turn 4, like you're threatening to steal something very very real, and that's it's pretty good. I think this is a B minus.
I'm gonna give it a C plus. It's legendary, but it is pretty good, and I think this is maybe. Yeah, it is irritating. It is pretty irritating. Like you sack a creature or an artifact, probably an artifact a lot of times, and it does get very irritating. C plus seems fine. C plus seems fine. It's a legendary. I'll bet Salvagers. For 2 and a black, it's a 2/3. Whenever this creature or another creature or artifact you control dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Oh, this in this set is I think this is good in this set. I think this is good in this set. Yeah. I'm into this. Kinda don't like this card usually when it's a 2/3. When it's not like an enchantment that makes a 1/1 and stays. But you say yes, the treasure dies if you sacrifice it. I think this is actually pretty damn good in this set. I'm gonna give it a C plus.
I would do B minus.
I can see
I'm
a
in.
B minus. Oh. Yeah, I can see a B minus.
I'm in. No, I mean, I typically like this effect a lot. I usually overrate them actually. Wait, no, I don't. I usually give them really bad grades.
Okay.
I don't know myself.
What's going on?
I don't know myself very well. Anyway, besides my identity crisis, Dark Knight's Greatsword, 2 and a black for an artifact equipment. Job select. Equipped creature gets +3/+0, and is a knight in addition to its other types. Chaosbringer, equip, pay 3, activate only once each turn. This is a 4/1. We'll trade off with stupid 1/1s. Equipping for quote unquote free can be very, very powerful. This is a dangerous game that we're playing. Because you definitely don't want to be racing, and you definitely don't want to be like behind, right? So this is very much an aggressive card. And I do think it does a fairly good job at that, right? Like if your life total is 20 and you're putting pressure on the opponent, you're ahead whatsoever. You're going to be it's going to feel miserable for the opponent. It's going to feel miserable. Like everything that's coming in is now just like 3/3 and they're almost dead even though you're at like 10 life. It's powerful. I do think it's powerful. That being said, I think it's like a C. I think it's a C.
Kind of pretty good with Reno with Menace. This Menace. And okay with this Menace if you can get it to attack.
Yeah, it's extremely good with keywords.
There is some good lifelink in the set. Green, white, but you're not gonna play that with this, I think. There is black, blue 2/3 with lifelink. There is 2/1 in white with lifelink, I guess. And that grows with artifacts. With equipments. I think it's gonna be... So 4/1 is horrible, I think, but I think you're gonna be very good at racing. 4/1 is really bad in this set, especially with some... There are some 1/1s, right? Uncommon. I'm not talking about the job select cards. Those are not 1/1s. Those are real creatures, right? Because they got equipped. So you spent more mana than you would on a 1/1. I think this pans out really well. Non-creature in black, and can all of a sudden make opponent have to block. Like you play this, you equip it to 2-drop. A lot of times in black, that's gonna be great. This set, you are gonna need some defenses in the early game. You're really gonna need those. I'm on a C plus or a B minus. I'm gonna start as a C plus. It's pretty damn good in black. Bang. Fearless IC. For 2 and a black, it's a 2-3. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. This ability triggers only once each turn. I mean, it transforms with what? With that, what was it? A green card, I think? Into like
I think it's
7.
green, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta pay a lot of mana, I think, for it to transform into Vigilance, Menace, Trample, Reach, Haste. When it dies, destroy target permanent, and return target non-legendary permanent card from your graveyard or battlefield. That's gonna be hard, but I think you gotta pay a lot of mana or something, I can't remember. It is upkeep. How easy it is to have this effect? In black, it's not easy to do this effect, right? There's like nothing on common. There's like return 2 creatures, but...
Well, there's the black card that can exile 2 creatures. That's a 3/2. It's pretty bad, though.
Yeah, that's really bad combo. 3-drop with a 3-drop is usually bad combo. This is not easy. This is really not easy. That. I don't like it. I'm on a D+.
Yeah. I mean, no. No, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, obviously green black I think is the best at it. But I'm not. I would be more into this if it had an effect that wasn't already what green black was doing to trigger it, which is getting value out of your graveyard. So you're just getting more value, but also losing life, which is kind of a pain. Like if this helped defend yourself when you also got value from leaving the graveyard, I think that would be much better. But no, kind of off it.
I mean, there's a
yeah, D+ as well.
green 2 mana 1/1 that gets you a land, but it's such a bad stat line, right? The reason why in the last set the blue green 2/2 was so good because it's a 2/2 flyer for 2. That is great. That is great on its own, just like very nice. And then a lot of harmonize, like it was very easy to do. And if you never did this, you got a 2/2 flyer. That's completely fine on its own. This you're not fine with a 2/3, and you didn't lose life there. So not good.
Okay. Overkill, 2 and a black, instant. Target creature gets -0, -9,999 until end of turn. Is there like a story moment behind this?
That's like
just...
the max damage you're usually dealing.
The max damage. Okay.
I
Cool.
think depends on how.
Did you say that you like Sephiroth's intervention more than this card? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on the opposite. This is a B- for me.
I'm gonna B- as well. I also think that removal might be a little bit worse in this set. So might be going down on many of those cards. Trembling Seat. For 2 and a black, it's a 3/3, enters tapped. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may pay black. If you do, return this card from your graveyard to your hand. Just 1 black. Pretty easy. Oh, Scotty. Did you see my Seat of Arma fail?
I'm sorry, your what?
Seat of Arma fail.
That doesn't sound like English to me, so no.
You know what Seat of Arma is? The card from Ether Drift.
Oh, Seat of Arma. Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah. That was good. That was good stuff.
Yeah. So it was 0% chance to lose the game no matter what opponent has. 5 mythics in a row, who cares? But yeah, I literally killed my whole board when they did -6, I think.
Yeah, good stuff.
This can give even more minus, literally -9,000 something. So be careful. Okay. 3/3 for enter stepped is pretty damn bad. It's not a non-creature. Really cool that you can like get it back for... It's so easy to get it back. But I don't think it's enough. Don't think it's enough for 3 mana 3/3. I'm just gonna give it a D.
Yeah, I think this is a D.
Yeah,
it seems like if the game goes really long and you're like grinding it out and the reward is like a card that gets bricked by like a 3/4, it's pretty bad. As much as I want to think of this as infinite value, it's not. Circle of Power. Sorry, it's a 3 and a black for 4 mana sorcery. You draw 2 cards and you lose 2 life. Create an 0/1 black wizard creature token with whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this token deals 1 damage to each opponent. Wizards you control get +1/+0 and gain lifelink until end of turn.
Hmm. Hmm?
Oh, that's weird. That's very strange. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. I don't even think it matters how many wizards you have. I think this plays into the game plan quite well.
So
And the wizard is a pretty large upside, but I don't think it even needs it. I think this is a B-. I think this is very nice.
it is big. So all the wizards that you have, so this wizard that you're making here,
Yep.
doesn't deal damage, obviously, and it doesn't see this spell. All the other wizards, they deal the damage first before they get lifelink, right?
Yes, they deal the damage first before they get lifelink, sadly.
Yeah. So it's gonna help you if you're attacking or if you have other spells after this one.
Yep.
Which is still pretty good, I think. I think it's huge that it makes 0/1.
That's weird design.
I think for the weird design, but there are just wizards. Okay, there is that common 2/1 wizard. Well, now it's a 3/1 lifelinker. You can just attack with that. That's nice. In red, you also have wizards. You have some that make multiple wizards. You have the wizard saga, right? That's also gonna buff your wizard. That is wizard itself. You have a blue-red. I don't know if you play that one. The black-red wizard, that is flyer. There are wizards. There is enough of them. I think this is gonna be a B. You gotta just remember, it does not deal 1 lifelink damage, this thing. No matter, you have 10 wizards, you're dealing 10 damage. I mean, you don't have 10, but if you have 10, you're dealing 1 damage. They don't get lifelink, right? Until that resolves. But if you can chain it with 1 more spell, that is absolutely huge. Because this wizard is also gonna have lifelink, right? I think this is amazing. Exactly what black wants as card draw. I'm gonna be perfect for black.
Okay. Actually, this is you.
Final days for 2 and double black. Sorcery creates 2 tapped 2/2 black horror creature tokens. If this spell was cast from a graveyard and it has flashback of 6, instead create X of those tokens, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. I don't know really how many this is the best one we saw so far, I think. With this effect lately, right? Lately. In the last a lot of years. Because you can just get 2 tutus, right? You don't have to wait, you pay 4 mana, you get 2 tutus. It's a sorcery, that's nice, that's kind of what black wants. It is very weird that is flashback counts creatures, and I don't think you want many creatures in black deck, but you're probably gonna have some. And if you're playing like meal, black, green, that's gonna be pretty good. It also makes 2 bodies, but their tapped is a huge freaking downside. Huge, but you get 2 spells. That's also important. I'm gonna give it a C+. I think it's actually... These always suck, but I think this one is good. I'm gonna give it a C+, and I would like a ceiling of a B.
I'm fine with the ceiling of a B. I'm taking it like a C. I'm a little bit more pessimistic about this. Rules-wise, for clarity, the flashback tokens also come in tapped, right?
Yes?
Um,
X of those tokens.
yeah, because of those tokens is what makes them
Tapped
tapped.
tutus,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
I think it is tapped, yeah. Tapped tutus.
Yeah.
But it's also 2 spells that cost 4 and 6 if you're playing Dimir, for example. And then you can do some unblockable damage with your 2-drop in blue and with your wizards as well.
Yeah, I'm a little... I mean, it's a little bit more narrow, right? There's certainly going to be... I'm pretty sure this is Golgari only, because like otherwise there's like too many non-creatures that overlap with creatures for you.
I think it's okay if you're not Golgari, if you don't have a lot of creatures even. This is 2
Sure.
spells. Pretty good at blocking.
That's true. Yeah, it's true. That's true. I think, yeah, I'm probably underrating the front side. Tapped is certainly a large downside, but not the actual end of the world.
Buddy.
All right, let's go. Gaius von Balsar, Balsar. 2 black, legendary creature, human soldier. It's 3/2. When this enters, choose one. Each player sacrifices a creature token of their choice. Each player sacrifices a non-token creature of their choice, or each player sacrifices an enchantment of their choice. Uh, this is kind of strange. So the best case scenario I see for this is if your opponent plays a job select on 3 and you drop this on 4 and you just kill that. That's incredibly good.
Hmm?
That's incredibly good. That's so strong.
Or they play a Saga.
Sagas, yeah, and then if you don't have one,
And
that's good.
usually you don't have one, right? Because they're dying. It's not like they
Yep.
stay.
Yep. And I think that this will also play pretty dang well into the late game because of it. Like, obviously, as soon as you drop your first Black Mage or as soon as you drop your first Saga, it's tough. But I think that there's enough really, really high upside scenarios, and sometimes in a pinch, you can even just sack this and whatever opponent threat your opponent has on a relatively clear board. That's all fine. That's all fine. I think this is a C+.
And then there's that 1/1 in black that makes them exile. There's that 2/2 red that gives you a treasure. I'm okay with this one. I think it's basically always gonna have a good choice for you. It's not a non-creature. So I think it's gonna be a C+ for me. If it was non-creature, you should get a B- for sure. Phantom Train. 4 mana 4 for trample. Sacrifice another artifact or creature. Put a +1/+1 counter on this vehicle. It becomes a spirit artifact creature in addition to its other types until end of turn. Okay. We got a vehicle that has no crew. This is such cool flavor, right? But if you make your creatures die, I guess artifacts as well, it is basically crewed. This I think is good. I think this is good. It has trample as well. I think this is good as a finisher, as a threat. I think you're gonna have this random. You're gonna have a lot of artifacts that make creatures. You're gonna have a lot of creatures that make creatures. You're gonna have a lot of creatures that make artifacts. A lot of things go in favor for this one. I think it is. This is a very good removal target, right? Very, very good one. Yeah, this one seems really good for this set. And especially for black is trying to do. Trample is a huge thing. It is so huge. Because if it's a non-creature, it's 4 mana as well. That is huge. And then if you're like pinging them constantly, at one point if you have this, they gotta be like, they must keep up a removal spell. Or you're gonna kill them with this thing. So it's a huge threat. I think this is amazing in this set. I think I'm gonna give it a B-. For I think it's just me.
I don't think we're fighting enough. We should fight more.
I mean, we fought over some cards.
I also think this is very powerful. I think threat of activation is huge on this defensively. I do think some of the more sacrifice-oriented black decks will want to defend themselves, but this turns the corner extremely quickly when you decide to stop defending yourself. Extremely fast. Like, this is not just once a turn activation too. So even if they have a 5/5 and you have 2 things that you'd like to sack, they can't even attack you.
Yep.
It's bam, 6/6 whenever you want.
Yep.
Big. I'm on a C+, but I do think it's good.
And it's also, if they're tapped out, you block this in so many black boards that I'm gonna be making. I don't know.
Yeah, so huge. Big card. Evil Reawakened. 4 and a black for a sorcery. Turn target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with 2 additional +1/+1 counters on it. 2 is a lot.
A lot.
2 is a lot of counters.
A lot of counters.
Isn't this literally like the rare from OTJ? Rakdos' return, or Rakdos whatever. Rakdos comes back, joins up.
Oh
Literally the
yeah,
same
but
card.
it's also Ragdos.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not bad. This is not bad. So this is a hoop to jump through. This is a hoop to jump through, but I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. I think this is a worthy hoop to jump through. Just mostly because, like, even if you return like a 3 drop, for example, that traded off, like you're making it into essentially 5 mana worth of stats. And that's fine. On top of all the self mill, on top of all the loot, on top of land cycling, if you really want it. Um, I think this is a C plus.
I don't think it is. I think it's either horrible or pretty damn good. And the Golgari, probably pretty damn good. Black, blue, black red, but mostly black blue. Pretty horrible a lot of times, I think.
You just don't want it there.
It's I think so. I think this is a special set, similar to how Ether Drift was for Dimir, right? So usually when you have like a lot of types, in Dimir in Ether Drift it was like sometimes my decks, everything was an artifact, literally every single card, but 90+% of artifacts was very easy to get. I think in this set for black and some other color, usually Dimir, I think it's gonna be pretty easy to have 90% of your cards be non-creatures. I don't think that. I think that's not gonna be. I think it's gonna be perfectly possible in this set. So that's gonna make it horrible. But in any deck that doesn't do that, it's gonna be pretty good. Like even the problem with these cards is if when you reanimate 2-drop, you're sad. 3-drop sad. 4-drop sad. 5-drop kinda sad because you had to wait. You didn't just like, oh, it's turn 5, I'm reanimating my 5-drop. Usually not that. So, but here you reanimate a 2-drop like it's a 4/4 with something, some text, and that's fine. But that's the worst thing you can do. There are the land cyclers, sure. There are. Looting is pretty good. So most decks that I'm building, this is gonna be like a D minus, I think. No, I think really 90% of our non-creatures in the deck is gonna be something that is not gonna be that hard to do. Especially with black, like having, I think the best 2-drop and the best 3-drop are not creatures. In Golgari it's gonna be so good, so I think I'm gonna be picking this as a C minus on average, but feeling like a B minus?
Okay.
Like if you're reanimating in black, green, if you're reanimating that thing that kills literally anything most of the time, that's so good. And now it's a huge flyer. Now it's a 5/5 flyer. That is very good. Summon Anima. For 4 and double black, it's a 4/4 with Menace, Enchantment Creature Saga. It has 4 phases, 4 chapters. The first 3 are you draw a card and you lose 1 life. That's 3 cards. The last chapter is each opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice and loses 3 life. I mean, this reanimating sagas is actually, this reanimating sagas is really, really good. Because they are easy to get into graveyard because they just die at one point, no matter what's happening. So, actually, can you give this a C from me, Scotty, the Reawakened?
Evil Reawakened, right?
Really, really. Okay. That's a good 6-drop. That's a pretty damn drop. That's a lot of life loss. Be careful about that. But these are powerful. Drawing 1, 2, 3 cards if it doesn't die. If it dies, it's fine as well. Not really what you want, but then like sacrifice a creature and 3 life is a lot if you get there. That's a lot of time to get there. So I don't know, man. I kind of really like this one. I'm gonna give it a B minus.
Yeah, I'm a little bit less hot. I think it's a little slow. So cards up front would be nice, but cards in a trickle, not as into. And unfortunately speaking, just drawing 3 doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna be able to stabilize after losing life if you're behind to begin with when you drop your 6-drop that you've held in your hand. So I'm gonna go on a C.
Okay. We are on to the black rares. Let's start with the rares that flip, but there are no rares that flip in black. Oh no, there are two. There are two. There are
Yeah,
two. My bad.
there's
I'm just looking at them. There are
there's
three.
two.
There's the most. There are
Well,
four.
one is Sephiroth.
There are
Oh
four.
wait. Oh yeah. No. There's four rare. Yeah.
Four
There's a bunch
rares
of
and
rares.
one mythic.
Okay.
Alright, that's the most. Okay,
Yeah.
I said none, but I don't
Yeah.
know because it started with a one drop. I thought like it started with one. I'm like, oh no, they're not there. All right, Gary.
Cecil, Dark Knight, black for a legendary creature, human knight. It's a 2/3 with Death Touch. Whenever Cecil deals damage, you lose that much life. Then, when your life total is less than or equal to half your starting life total, untap Cecil and transform it. Transforms into Cecil, Redeemed Paladin, which is white. It's a 4/4 with lifelink. Whenever Cecil attacks, other attacking creatures gain indestructible until end of turn. Then if your life total, so like you lose the life and then it flips almost immediately as a 4/4. Doesn't
Weird.
guarantee that you're going to gain life. Doesn't guarantee that you're going to gain that life. Because if they just kill Cecil, that's pretty brutal.
That's weird card.
But it's still good. It's still good. It contends, it blocks early, dominates the board, but it's quite painful. Very strong. I think this is a B. I think this is a solid B. There's a lot of downside, and there is a disaster scenario with this, but it's good. It's very efficient.
I think the huge part of this is gonna be like how black plays out, and I think like having a 2/3 that toucher that blocks basically every 2-drop without even attacking, maybe don't want to attack, is gonna be a pretty big deal, right? While you're drawing your cards and dealing damage with the mages, and I think that's the thing. So that's huge. I think that's a huge part, and at one point they probably gotta kill it, or you attack, and then I mean it trades up almost certainly. Like it always trades up. It's a 1-drop. So I'm on a B minus. I'm on a B minus just because you're kind of like, are you really attacking all the time?
Yeah, it's almost better as a blocker than an attacker, right?
Yeah, it is better as a blocker, I think.
And you're not losing life if this is staring at a 2/2 and holding it back.
Yeah.
Because it's not like they're gonna chump attack their 2/2 just to deal 2 damage most of the time. So, Jacked, Reluctant Guardian, 3 and a black, 4 mana total for a legendary creature, human warrior. It's a 4/3 with menace. Whenever a Jack deals combat damage to a player, you may exile it, then return it to the battlefield transformed under its opponent's control, or under its owner's control. Sorry,
its owner's control, Scotty.
It transforms into Braska's final Aeon. It's a 7/7 with menace. With Jack Beam. Sorry, the name is ridiculous. With chapters 1 and 2, each opponent discards a card and you draw a card. And chapter 3, each opponent sacrifices 2 creatures of their choice.
Okay.
Yeah, so already on its front side, it's reasonable. A 4/3 with menace, not great, but
It's
not
bad.
that difficult.
It is bad. It's not reasonable, Scotty. It's bad.
Menace is a good keyword.
No, 4/3 menace is bad for 4 mana. How is that reasonable? When the fuck was that reasonable?
What? Ferocious Tiger Gorilla is like a 4/3 with menace. I like that card.
The gorilla, you mean?
What? Yeah, the gorilla. I like the gorilla.
That one that you choose the counter, like menace.
You do get to choose a counter, but most of the time you choose menace. The backside is very strong.
But if it transforms,
yeah, the transform is very, 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 very strong, and I do think it's pretty easy to clear a way to get in with this.
I don't think it's easy at all, but it's really not easy, no way. But it just stops the game.
Yeah.
Right.
It's great. Like it even gosh, yeah, ton of value. Like ton of value. Like you hit with this, it's very close to game over. It's not actually game ending, but it's very, very close to it.
It's
Incredibly
basic.
incredible blocking too as a 7/7.
And attacking, and
Uh,
I mean, you're...
yeah. So I mean the front side is definitely the issue. The front side is definitely the
It's
issue.
the
I think
issue.
this is a B minus.
I'm gonna also give it a B minus. Like, the front side without any, it's just with menace or 3 is crap. It's a D minus or something. Or a D. Probably a D. But it usually, when you get a 4-3 with menace, if opponent kills it, that's nice for them. If they don't, they're kind of fine. They're okay. Your creature is very bad at blocking because it's a 4-3 for 4 mana, doesn't stop all 3 drops, not even all 2 drops. There are birds in this set, right, with landfall. But that's the problem with 4 mana 4-3 menaces, because they don't block well. That's the biggest problem. It's kind of fine on attacks, but that's not what you need from your 4-drop. They need to be good at blocking as well. It's a lot of mana. But they don't stop the game, right? Because you're gonna be keeping 3 creatures with this on the battlefield, right?
Yep.
You're not
On
gonna be
defense,
keeping 2. Because if it transforms, discard, draw, sec 2. 7/7 menace. Like, if... And you're not killing it, probably. Because if you could have killed it, you would have killed it. And if you
Yeah,
do kill
it's
it, that's fine. Opponent just made the discard and draw card.
I think that what you said about Shiva applies here as well. Like, it has built-in gameplay defense rather than, on like it's not like on the text that it defends you well, but in the way that it plays out, it actually kind of does defend you.
So this is actually a good blocker. That's why it's a B minus. I mean, could be even better. Because if it flips, that's that. Next up, we have Vincent Valentine. For 2 and double black, it's a 2/2. But whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a number of +1/+1 counters on Vincent Valentine equal to that creature's power. And when it attacks, you may transform it. Just attacks. Okay, it attacks, you get a 3/2 trample lifelinker. And when it dies, return it to the battlefield tapped as a Vincent Valentine. And that's pretty crazy for a very low stat line. Like, okay, they kind of gotta remove it. They kind of gotta remove it. Like, that's... It is a 4-mana 2/2, but it's gonna attack as a 3/2 lifelinker with trample. And it's gonna come back. And he transform always keeps counters, but when it dies, you return it back. So it keeps counters when it transforms from Vincent Valentine to Galleon Beast, but it doesn't retain counters when it transforms back, because it's not really transforming. It's dying, going to the graveyard, and then coming back. But it keeps the counters from this side, so pair it with no removal, I think it's pretty good. Pair it with removal, crazy things happen. Also, you play it, unless they're killing it, they don't want to attack, because they don't want you to block with any creature, right? Like, you trade with any creature, and this grows huge. I think this is amazing. But it does die to anything. It's a 2/2, needs to attack, so I'm not gonna give it a bomb grade, but a B+.
Yeah, B+ for me as well. Obviously the worst part about it is being a 2/2 for 4 mana.
Yeah.
Xenos, yay, Galvus. 3 black for legend. Are you real? Okay. I have to check.
Yeah.
3 black for a legendary creature, human noble warrior. This is a 4/4. My first friend. When this enters, choose a creature an opponent controls. Until end of turn, creatures other than this and the chosen creature get -2/-2. When the chosen creature leaves the battlefield, transform. Okay. And it transforms into Shinryu, Transcended Rival. It's a legendary creature dragon. It's an 8/8 with flying. As this creature transforms, choose an opponent. When the chosen player loses the game, you...
It doesn't
that
feel
has
real.
no text.
Yeah,
That doesn't do anything.
It is an
right?
8/8 flyer. It's an 8/8 flyer.
It's an 8/8 flyer. Okay, yeah, that does nothing. That's a commander. That's a commander thing.
Yeah. That's a commander thing.
I had to look at that again. I'm like, what?
It's a commander thing.
Okay.
Is this like
Okay.
for a commander? What's the name when you're giving? It's not a friend deck. It's when you're giving people
Group hug.
card. What? Group hug. Group hug. Yeah, group
Group
hug.
hug, yeah.
Is this like for a group hug and then somebody is about to lose and you're like, nah, let me just help you out. Like if you lose, I win. So you're not gonna lose. You can still play. Like you give this to the worst player, and then you never attack with this, of course. With this hate.
I could see.
It's like this is gonna be a group hug card.
Yeah. Um, yeah, interesting. So, on its own, it's not bad, right? Like you get to choose, you get to sweep. There's a lot of 1 toughness and a decent amount of 2 toughness in this. And then when the next creature dies, right? Like if you trade it off with something else, or you just use your removal spell, becomes an 8/8 flyer. 8/8 flyers are good. 8/8 flyers are pretty good. I like this. I think it's a B.
Okay, so in a Black Dead that I'm gonna be playing, this is literally an F. Unplayable card. The worst card in your deck that I'm mostly gonna be playing. In some different builds with Golgari and so on, this is really, really good. I think it averages to a C. F in those decks that I think that's gonna be the Black Identity, almost always, and pretty amazing in that Golgari deck. So yeah, maybe even a C minus. Yeah, I'm okay with a C minus. Okay. Please change the grade to the C minus because it is an F in those decks. There's nothing worse. 18th land, let's go. In the I think most powerful black archetypes, which are gonna be multiple archetypes, I think. Next up we got Midgar, City of Mako. It's another adventure land for 2 and a black. You get Reactor Raid. Source 3, adventure. You may sacrifice an artifact or creature. If you do, draw 2 cards. And this land enters tapped. It's like a tapped swamp. This is very good. This is different, right? This is very, very different town. So 3 mana is doable. It's not there's so many artifact creatures that are easy to sack for you. It's a non-creature that you do. This is a great town. The other town in blue was nothing. It was an unplayable tapped island. This is different. This is, I would say, C plus.
Yeah, C plus sounds about right. Yeah.
It's very good. Because in the end, you're just getting a tapped swamp. That's fine.
Yeah. Super solid. Sorry, can you read the next one? I forgot these are at the bottom of the tier list.
Right. Kain. Traitorous Dragoon. For 2 and a black, you get a 2/4 that has jump. Jump is always during your turn. Kain has flying. Whenever Kain deals combat damage to a player, that player gains control of Kain. If they do, you draw that many cards, create that many tapped treasure tokens, then lose that much life. That's weird. I don't know, this feels horrible. And then they're gonna do it? You do it first, I guess? Nah, I don't want this. No, this is an F. This is just an F.
I'm not in.
Yeah. Even if you can kill this, it's an F.
Yeah, I mean, you can't even sack it in response to the trigger.
Yeah.
You know, it just does nothing.
Wait. If they do.
Yeah, so it doesn't work. So sad. Ninja's Blades, 2 and a black for artifact equipment. Job select. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and is a ninja in addition to its other types. And whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, then discard a card. That player loses life equal to the discarded card's mana value. So I think, despite the fact it doesn't say draw, that this is significantly better than Thieves' Tools, right? Or Thieves' Knife or whatever, because it costs only 2 to re-equip.
Yep.
The 2 re-equip is massive. I do think this card is decent. So yeah, a 2/2, whatever. But the fact that you can pass this around for relatively cheap, good. That's good. B- for me.
Yeah, I'm also on a B-. I mean, it is a 3 mana 2/2 though. That's kind of bad, but 2 mana to move it is pretty good. Yeah, I'm on a B-. The Darkness Crystal for 2 and double black. Black spells cost 1 less to cast. If a non-token creature an opponent controls would die, instead exile it and you gain 2 life. For 4 and double black, put target creature card exiled with Darkness Crystal onto the battlefield tapped under your control with 2 additional +1/+1 counters. Oh, this one actually does things like the white one.
Lol.
So, okay, you're getting 2 for every non-token creature, and there's gonna be a lot of tokens, so that's weird. 6 mana is so much to put something back. But it's bigger. It's a lot bigger. It's tapped. That kind of sucks. I don't know, this feels playable. This kind of feels playable. I'm gonna see.
Okay, I'm actually higher on this one.
Okay.
So I actually think you can't sleep on gain 2 life when a creature dies, an opponent controls dies, right?
Non-token.
Because I do think that you need to leverage like your board, and you need to continue leveraging your board for the white crystal to continue gaining meaningful life without activating the 6 mana mode. But in this one, you can trade and gain life to defend yourself for the final mode. They play really well with each other. They play actually extremely well with each other, while the white one doesn't really. This one does, because you actively want to be trading off your creatures on board anyway. And that buys you a lot of time.
Non-token.
Yeah, non-token, sure. Yeah, sure, non-token.
That's huge in this set.
Yeah, you're right. I actually agree with you on that. That is true. There's going to be a lot of things that they're attacking you with that you're not going to gain life off of, which hurts it a decent amount. And it is a little slow. But I also think that, and maybe this is the case for the white one, you can't sleep on the first text either. You can't really sleep on the first text either of black spells costing less to cast, which means that after you develop this, maybe gain a little bit of life for blocking, it makes your double spells so much easier. So then you can keep up that then bridges you to 6 mana mode. And 6 mana mode being, you can continue activating it, right? Because it's any graveyard, yours and the opponent's, right? Oh, no, it doesn't. So it needs to be there already. That does make it significantly worse. But still, I'm on a C+.
Okay. Right. In normal set, I think this would be pretty good. In this set,
Yeah.
not very good. But C is like a super high grade. I think this is going to be like a D plus maybe. So this is like, if any, like I'm doing card evaluation sessions a lot with a lot of my students when the new set is up, and like if anybody gives this like a D, I'm not gonna talk to them about it. I'm gonna like possibly D. Yes, you might be more right than me. This one, about most cards, I'm pretty sure. This one, I'm not sure about a C, but I can see just
you like the white one better than this one then.
But I gave the white one a C minus or C minus.
Oh, did you? Okay. That's right. You lowered it. I thought, yeah. I initially gave it like a C+.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is gonna be an F. I don't even know what it does. You read it.
Zordiarch, Umbral God, black, 5 mana total, F. Anyway, it's a god that's a 5/5, indestructible. When it enters, each player sacrifices half the non-god creatures they control of their choice, rounded down. Whenever a player sacrifices another creature, put a +1/+1 counter. Yeah, this is horrible. This is an F.
It's an F. Horrible card. Too much black. If you're mono black, sure. It's really good if you're mono black. But you're not almost ever. Deadly Embrace for 3 and double black. Destroy target creature an opponent controls, then draw a card for each creature that died this turn. This is incredible. So, minimum of 1 card. After attacks, this is skip. Samer Flux is not a card in this set as well.
Oh, skip, yeah.
Summon Primal Odin for 4 and double black. It's a 5/3. It's a 5/3 enchantment creature, Saga Knight. Destroy target creature an opponent controls is the first step. Okay, you get a 5/3 and you kill something. The second chapter, Zantetsuken. This creature gains, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. Okay. The third chapter, draw 2 cards, each player loses 2 life. Okay, that's amazing. This is amazing. This is just amazing. So, this is incredibly amazing. Alright, so pay 6 mana, you got a 5/3, and destroy any creature. Okay. Next turn, you attack, and opponent is scared to attack, right? They're scared to attack because literally disconnects, the game is over. So, I mean, if you can give it some evasion, white can do that. That's a problem. So what that means is that you're basically never gonna win the game with this when it connects. Basically never. But what it means is it is gonna trade. It's gonna kill anything, and then it's gonna trade with a removal spell or with a creature. And I guess if you're playing green, you can give it +3/+3 trample. That's a common card. White has some uncommons that give flying as well, so you can win with it. But that's a possibility. Most often, not really gonna happen. No, this toughness, who cares about toughness really, right? It's like they are gonna trade with this. And the last step, like draw to, you might not want to trade. You might not want to trade. Because you might just want to draw 2 cards and make both of you lose life. Yeah, this is crazy, like. It's not just a 5/3, it's a 5/3 that when attacks, opponents must block it. So this is a bomb. And sometimes just wins the game, yeah. And maybe you're just like having this 5/3. It makes opponents not attack with some creatures. That's huge. So it gains you life, right? This is going to gain you life because of the second step. They're gonna leave 2 for sure back. So definitely gonna gain you some life. And then draw 2 cards. Each opponent loses 2 life. You choose. Are you trading with attack or are you drawing 2 cards? And it blocks for 2 turns, right? So this is a bomb. This is an A. Easy A.
Yep. It's really good. A is good. Arden the Usurper. 5 black, legendary creature. Elder Human Noble. It's a 4/4. Demons you control have menace, lifelink, and haste. Star Scourge. At the beginning of combat in your turn, exile up to 1 target creature card from a graveyard. If you exiled a card this way, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 5/5 black demon. Yeah, this is worth 5 mana.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, this is worth 8 mana. This is worth 8 mana.
Yeah.
The biggest part is that if you need a blocker, it can be a blocker. If you need to gain life immediately, you can gain life immediately. It's 2 bodies, 9/9 worth of 2 bodies, and it continues going up from there. 8 mana, expensive. It is expensive. It is quite expensive, but it is very, very good.
It is game breaking.
It is game breaking, yeah. Which is very interesting when we because I think you can compare it to the White Mythic. I actually think the White Mythic is better.
How much mana is White Mythic? 8?
8, the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing,
yeah.
except it's harder to remove that one. This one is like if you kill the 4/4, then the demon loses lifelink, which is kind of a big deal. I think this is a B+.
I think this is actually a bomb. I think this is a bomb. But it's gotta be in a shell that's maybe not focusing about wizards, but I would say this is an A-. Yeah, I think this just wins the game almost always. It's not ETB is a problem, right? If they have removal, that's a big problem.
Oh yeah, they can just kill it
Or
immediately.
if they bounce it, yeah, that's a big
They can just overkill it.
Oh, that is a very big problem, right? That is a
little bit of
very big problem. I'm gonna give it a B+ for that reason. Because when I play an 8 mana card, I just want it to do its thing right away. So, B+. Oh, we're onto the mythics from the black mythics, but there is one black mythic that transforms. And it's Sephiroth, the Fabled Soldier. For 2 and a black, it's a 3/3, okay. Whenever Sephiroth enters or attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, draw a card. Whenever another creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. If this is the 4th time this ability has resolved this turn, transform Sephiroth. That's not happening. Okay, that's not happening. So, when it transforms, which it probably won't, you get a 5/5 flyer with Supernova. You get a Sephiroth 1-Winged Angel. Oh, that's a good song. As this creature transforms into Sephiroth One-Winged Angel, you get an emblem with whenever a creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. It's an emblem that this creature already had, which can never be removed. Whenever Sephiroth attacks, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. If you do, draw that many cards. Okay, front side is the only thing that matters. Back side, it's really cool that it exists. For limited, it's just probably not happening. But
Is it really that unreasonable? I mean, like it affects combat a lot. It means that 2 things can't trade, but
for 2 things can't trade is that's.
yeah.
But
it really messes with combat.
But
like in a big way.
Yeah, but just this creature is not in a big way. I think it's like very fringe scenarios. But this is extremely powerful. When any creature dies, your opponent's creatures. This is a busted effect. Like it's also opponent's creatures. Not just yours. Wow. And it has an ability on ETB and on attacks. I don't know if it's a bomb, but it's kind of close. It's either an A- or a B+. What do you think, Scotty?
I think it's a B+. I think it is very, 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 very good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on a B+ as well. But it's super powerful. This effect is crazy. And it has a decent body and ATB effect that's very good. And attack effect that's very good. So much. It is a fucking Sephiroth, so I kinda wanna give it a bomb grading. It might be an A-, but starting it as a high B+.
We're talking about Dark Confidant. Dark Confidant is 1 and a black for a creature, human wizard. It's a 2/1. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. You lose life equal to its mana value. All right. I don't know if this is hot nowadays, but Dark Confidant's not good anymore. It's just not that strong.
I think it was a hot take. Not hot take anymore, I think.
I don't think it's a hot take anymore. You have to have an extremely low to the ground aggressive deck for you to want to put Dark Confidant in your deck. But it's really not really for 2025 limited. So this is like a D-.
Yeah, D- seems fine. That is not a good effect. Yep. We're done with black. It's 2 mythics. And we are on to red. Let's see how red is gonna pair with black.